be the end of migration content creators in the UK? Could this be the end? I know that lots of people are tired of us. I mean, they're tired of us. But there's a reason why. Usually before most of my videos where I'm talking about immigration, I give a disclaimer. I always say that do not let this replace professional immigration advice. If you know that, yeah, please seek professional. I always say that, right? Disclaimer, I am not an immigration advisor. I'm not an immigration lawyer. No, I am not an immigration lawyer. Yes, I have read online and I'm just going to share with you things that I have read online. So there's a reason why. There's an organization. It used to be called OISC, OISC. It meant Office of the Immigration Services Commissioner. And this was an organization where if you're an immigration advisor, you have to be registered with this organization before you can actually have the license to, you know, give immigration advice to people, right? So I remember back in the day, I did the course about 3-4 years ago. I did the OISC course level 1, okay? But even after you have done the course, there's an exam you have to write and other processes that you have to go through before you're given the license to give immigration advice, right? And in one of my classes, I asked the question because the first day of the class, they told me that it is actually illegal to offer immigration advice if you're not licensed. And I was like, well, you know, I'm a YouTuber and sometimes I offer immigration. And what the OISC teacher told me in that class was that there's a limit to what I can do and what I cannot do. And ever since I learned that from that OISC class, I have been very, very, very careful, okay? And that's what I'm going to share now. At the moment, we don't have OISC. OISC has been changed to IAA, and IAA means Immigration Advice Authority. And now the UK government or the Home Office has announced new fines up to £15,000 for people who are not licensed and give immigration advice. So are all content creators in trouble? Hey, those who give immigration advice. Now, let me explain exactly what they said. Okay, stay tuned. Stop that. So now the Home Office has given the IAA, that's the Immigration Advice Authority, power to tackle rogue immigration advisors. Now, everybody's an immigration advisor, and they've also outlined exactly what to do that will make you safe and things that you do that make you unsafe and at risk of being fined or having trouble with the Home Office. And they were actually very, very specific. There's a 14-page document from the Home Office, okay, explaining exactly what you can do in terms of immigration and what you cannot do. Some of you watching me are not even content creators, but there's some things that you do. You offer advice to people and that can actually land you in trouble, but you have no idea about it, okay? So I'm now going to explain exactly the rules. Okay, these rules have always been there. Like I said, my immigration advisory course lecturer mentioned it when I did the course. By the way, I did the course, but I've not done an exam, so I'm not an immigration advisor, right? And this was published not long ago. There's been an outburst of immigration advisors and immigration, especially UK immigration advisors and UK immigration lawyers on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube here especially. And I know that even some people were even featured in the new BBC documentary. I mean that there's a reason why, you know, some people are found wanting because of some of the wrong information that these so-called immigration advisors put out there on the internet that sometimes even get people in trouble, taking money from people, offering immigration advice which is not true, which are not even licensed to do, and it's not right, okay? Now the UK Home Office wants to tackle these people. They want to tackle them well. You stand at risk of being fined up to £15,000. Guys, watch me, because some of you might even be doing some of these things, okay? Now, according to the Angela Eagle, the Minister for Border Security, she commented that shameless individuals offering immigration advice completely illegally must be held to account. This is why we are introducing these tough financial penalties for rogue firms and advisors, better protecting the integrity of our immigration system as well as vulnerable people in genuine need of advice. This will build on the vital work of the Immigration Advice Authority in regulating the immigration advice sector. So now let's look at the document, okay? So in the document, they gave so many examples of what people can do and what people cannot do. All right, so now let's look at some of the examples. If you want to read this document as well, I will link it in the description, okay? Guys, let's be careful. Now, if after I film a video and I share general advice and you ask me in my DM specific advice relating to your situation, please, if I'm not able to respond to you, understand that, okay? And this is the reason why I've always done this. Now, example 1, they are saying that a Polish community support group has produced an information booklet regarding the EU settlement scheme. It is providing this free to those who ask questions about their status as a result of the UK's exit from the EU. So let's say you have an African community support group, and then you published a booklet answering general questions about, immigration, Africa, blah, blah, blah. It's similar to this question. They are saying that the support group does not need to be regulated by the Immigration Advice Authority in order to produce or distribute this general information booklet. So if you offer general information, you don't need to be licensed. You can still do it, and you don't stand the risk of being fined. The example 2, they are saying that Anna contacts the support group to ask if she can meet with someone regarding her immigration status, as she is a non-EEA national and her marriage to her Polish husband has broken down. Anna is uncertain as to whether her husband has applied for settled status and what her option now is. In order to advise Anna, the support group will need to be registered with the IAA, and the individual providing advice will need to be authorized, having received relevant training and passed the appropriate IAA assessment. If they are not registered by the IAA, they should signpost Anna to a regulated immigration advisor. So just like I said, now out of the group, if a single person, an individual, comes out of the group after receiving the general information, comes to you to demand specific information regarding her situation, her complex situation, if the group or the leader of the group should direct Anna or whoever this individual is to a regulated professional, to a specific individual who is authorized, who has passed the IAA assessment, or to an immigration firm, a licensed immigration firm that is recognized by the UK's IAA. They don't have the right to offer this individual specific advice. Right. Example 3. Atlan is a Turkish national. He has been living in the UK, where he has for some years been running his own business. He believes he needs to apply for permission to stay under the European Communities Association Agreement route and will need to show that his business is viable. He has made an appointment to speak to his accountant, as he believes he will need to get some financial statements to support his application. Now, solution 3. Atlan's accountant can prepare a full set of his accounts for him. The preparation of business accounts is not a relevant matter. In preparing them, she is acting entirely on Atlan's brief and not concerned with the purpose for which the documents will be used. So if you're preparing a document for somebody for them to use it for immigration purpose, it's totally different. You can still go ahead and do it because you are not offering individual immigration advice. Now, example 4. Atlan's accountant has had similar requests from other clients and is aware that accounting requirements are different depending on whether the applicant is in business as a sole trader, director of a limited company, or legal partnership. The solution: Atlan's accountant can, without the need to be regulated, advise Atlan on what type of evidence would be suitable for his business. She might also draw his attention to anything that might need further advice, or for example, a significant level of debt owed by the business. She cannot, however, assist him in completing his application or advise on whether his documents or position meets the requirements unless she is registered with the IAA. So if you're an accountant, she can actually tell this person that, oh, as a sole trader, you need this. As a limited company owner, you need this, you need that. But do not give immigration advice and do not help the person fill the form or complete the application. Now, when it comes to providing service to a particular individual, this is the first example they gave. A voluntary organization which provides support to detainees and their families has offered to assist the client to try to locate documents that were left at their accommodation when they were detained. The client needs these documents to support an application for release from detention. The organization does not need to be registered with the IAA to help locate these documents for the clients. This one is simple. When the documents are located, the client asks if the voluntary organization can use the documents to make an application for them to be released from detention. The documents clearly shows that the person has valid leave, and so no representation should be needed. The solution is that the organization would need to be registered with the IAA to submit these documents to the Secretary of State as part of a bail application. The organization can, however, with the client's permission, forward the documents to the client in detention or to a legal advisor or another person without needing to be registered with the IAA. Let's look at the other example. I'm saying that Wangu is studying engineering at a university in Belfast. Her student visa is due to expire in a few months, and she would like some advice on how to stay in Northern Ireland to work. She has spotted a firm on the internet that offers advice to students about immigration matters. They are based in Dublin, so she could easily go to see them if need be. The answer is that as the immigration advice firm is based in the Irish Republic, it does not need to be registered with the IAA to advise you. So this person wants to work in Belfast, and then they've seen an immigration firm in another country, Ireland, and they are saying that the other immigration authority, they are not in the UK, so they don't need to be regulated. Okay. However, if a legal representative from the firm were to meet with this man in Northern Ireland, they would then be committing a criminal offense if they provide immigration advice and or services to her there. This person needs to be careful, as any advice or services provided to her online or in the Irish Republic will not be subject to any regulatory checks on fitness or competence by the IAA. This person might also check if the university can advise her, as it may be able to help, because most universities have, immigration advisors there, and does not need to register with the IAA to provide immigration advice or services. So because this organization, they are not licensed in the UK and they are not regulated by the IAA, they cannot come to the UK to offer immigration advice, but they can do it from where they are, if that's what I understand. Yeah, they are saying that occasional immigration advice given to immediate family members and close friends does not require regulation, and of course no fee can be charged for this work. Those who begin to give advice more widely or frequently would need to be regulated. Example, Neera would like her mother to visit her from India and stay with her in the UK for a few months. Neera has a friend, Varun, at the local temple who she has known for a long time and who advised her neighbor on a similar application many years ago. She emails him to ask if he can advise her. The solution is that this person does not need to register with the IA to advise Neera about her mother's visit, and he can help her complete the application form if need be. He must be acting as a friend and not her legal representative, and cannot charge her for this service. He should not advise her at all if he is unsure of the process, and he must not begin to advise other people at the temple on an ongoing basis. To do so would risk committing a criminal offense. He must explain to Neera that he is not a qualified advisor or regulated to give advice, and explain that he is giving advice purely as a friend. Neera should, so hence like a disclaimer, Neera should consider carefully whether she should follow Varun's advice or speak to a regulated advisor. So let's say despite making it clear that he's not a legal advisor, he already has a full-time job, Varun finds more and more people seem to be contacting him for help. He is extremely interested in immigration law and would like to help the local community if he could, but he is concerned about breaking the law. Varun may want to speak to the temple about whether they would like to make him an offer to offer free advice officially for the temple's devotees. Varun may need some formal training, but the temple can, if they wish, apply for registration with the IAA as an organization with Varun put forward as an applicant's advisor. Equally, Varun can look to set up his own community organization and apply for registration with the IAA. In either case, Varun must not provide immigration advice and services until his registration has been approved. So another one was about assisting people in terms of using, like computer or technology and all of that. And let me read that example. It says, Kostadin was granted settled status under the EU settlement scheme in April 2021. He would now like to apply for his partner Sylvia to join him in the UK. He has read the guidance document and feels confident that he can demonstrate that he and Sylvia were in a durable relationship prior to December 2020 and that their relationship still exists. As Sylvia holds a biometric passport from an EU country, Kostadin has been told he can use an ID document checking up, but is not sure how to set this up. And the answer is that any digital assistance with the application does not require the person to register with the IAA, as long as Kostadin is still making the application himself. Now, Kostadin is able to get assistance through his local library to install and use the app. In completing the application, it occurs to him that while Sylvia and he have been together for some years because of work commitment, they have often had to live apart and is unsure if this will cause a problem. He asks the librarian who is assisting him for some advice. The librarian staff cannot advise Kostadin about the requirements or what evidence he should submit. If Kostadin remains unsure, the library staff can help him find a regulated immigration advisor who may be able to advise him. So you can offer digital assistance, you can help a family member or a friend with your application if you are not taking money, and if you realize you're doing it more often, you can actually get their license, do the assessment and get your license, be regulated by the IAA, and you cannot offer specific advice to somebody about the application. Another one, Miriam is an Iranian national and currently has an asylum application pending with the Home Office. She has been very unwell but is not sure if she can register to see a doctor and is afraid of doing anything that might jeopardize her application. She therefore approaches her local church welfare group for advice. This person is not sure if they can access a public fund, so they are asking somebody from the church. The church group can advise Marian regarding accessing medical services without the need to be registered with the IAA. Marian's application for asylum is successful and she is granted refugee status. She returns to the church group to ask if they will help her secure a rental property by writing a letter to her prospective landlord about her entitlement to live in the UK. Now, the church group can write a factual letter for Marian explaining that she has refugee status and what this means in relation to her right to live and work in the UK. So the church can actually go ahead and give the reference, but it should be the truth, okay? They should state the truth, and that is not wrong. So guys, there's so many examples that they gave, and this is just a summary. You can offer friends and family advice, general advice. You can help them with the application. You do not charge money. You don't have to offer specific individual advice to, you know, specific circumstances if you are not registered. So guys, let's all be vigilant. In future, when I finally get the balls to do the Immigration Advice Authority assessment and I get my license, I will boldly come and share it here so that you all can send me your individual questions and I'll charge you and I'll offer you that advice, okay? But for now, all I can do is offer free general advice that I have seen on the internet that I always say. So guys, be warned, okay? And be conscious of all of these things. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.